Welcome to Mojoyminds.
Imagine being taken from your home as a child, forced into a life of service, and yet ending up as one of the most powerful and feared people in the world. This is the story of the Janissaries, the elite shock troops of the Ottoman Empire. For centuries, they were the ultimate contradiction. They were technically the slaves of the Sultan, but they wielded so much influence that they could make or break kings. To understand the Janissaries, we have to look at a system called the blood tax and the strange reality of how slavery in the East worked very differently than the systems we often think of today. The story begins with a practice known as the devshirme. Starting in the late 14th century, the Ottoman sultans would send officials into the Christian villages of the Balkans, lands like modern-day Greece, Serbia, and Bulgaria. They would select the strongest, most intelligent young boys to be taken away to Istanbul. This was the blood tax. These boys were converted to Islam and enrolled in a rigorous, lifelong school where they were trained in philosophy, language, and most importantly, warfare. Because they were legally the property of the Sultan and had no family ties to the local Turkish nobility, the Sultan trusted them completely. They were his personal, household slaves, his human shield, and his most loyal weapon. But as these boys grew up and became the Janissaries, their status changed. They weren't laborers in the fields. They were the first modern standing army in Europe. They were the first to wear uniforms and the first to use gunpowder and muskets on a massive scale. Because of their elite training, they were given immense privileges, including high salaries and high-ranking positions in the government. The slave label became a badge of honor and a fast track to the highest levels of power in the Ottoman world. Exploring the strange turns of human history, where a slave can also be a master, is exactly what we do here at Mojoyminds. We believe that the most fascinating stories are the ones that challenge our assumptions about how the world works. If you are enjoying this 4-part series on the hidden history of human bondage, make sure to subscribe and join the Mojoyminds community. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our final episode on the genetic legacy. Let's see how the Janissaries eventually became too powerful for their own good. By the 17th century, the Janissaries had become more than just an army. They had become a state within a state. They realized that since they were the only ones allowed to carry weapons in the capital, they held all the cards. They began to demand higher pay and more political influence. If a sultan tried to reform the military or cut their spending, the Janissaries would overturn their giant cooking cauldrons in the streets, a signal of mutiny. They became kingmakers, deposing and even executing sultans who stood in their way. They were no longer the sultan's tools. The sultan was becoming theirs. This era of slave rule lasted for centuries until 1826, when the system finally collapsed in a violent event known as the Auspicious Incident. The Janissaries were disbanded, but their legacy remained. They proved that power isn't always about who is free and who is bound, but about who holds the weapons and who controls the administration. They started as children taken from their homes in a dark act of conquest, but they ended up shaping the destiny of 3 continents. In our final episode, we are going back to the beginning to look at the DNA. From the Viking raids to the Barbary pirates and the Janissary recruits, these massive movements of people didn't just change history books, they changed us. We are going to look at why a person in North Africa might have blue eyes and why an Irishman might have ancestors from the Middle East. It is time to see the genetic map of our forgotten past. See you in the finale of the Mojoyminds special series.
Garantangi. Till the next video.